What's up? All right, we're back for a another edition. All right, of closing conversations. We do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, 12 p.m. on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. EST ish. All right, on Thursdays, we get together with the U fam, get live here on YouTube, and we use the power of offerbolt.io, AI software to find homeowners who are interested in selling, only motivated sellers, no cold calling, driving for dollars, knocking on doors, hanging up bandit signs. We use AI to find the most motivated sellers in every market. And our members of the U community can bring their leads to us, and we'll actually call them live on closing conversations. And we partner with our students every single day of the week doing deals. So we're live today. I got my guy Brandon Barnes here as well. Brandon, you want to introduce yourself, man? Let people know who you are.
Yeah, look, Brandon Barnes here from Atlanta. Send more offers is kind of the name of my game. Super excited to be here every Tuesday and Thursday. I think this is great for you guys to just lock in, see how we talk to these sellers, handle objections, and try to get to the next contract. So I'm ready to get to it, man.
Let's rock and roll. All right, man. As always, I'm gonna let you do the honors. All right, and fire up the boats
There we go.
and do the first call, man.
Okay. We got a few in Richmond.
All right, man. Let's get shaking in the capital city, man.
Let me see. Let's hit this. But okay. Miss Becker. Zebediah. That sounds like a biblical name, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the Old Testament name.
Right. Male, female. Zebediah.
That's
Male.
a tough call. That's a tough call.
Mr. Becker. I'm gonna hear who pick up the phone. But I'm gonna do that one, and then we'll roll with it.
Just roll.
All right, this is good.
Hey, Mr. Becker, this is Brandon. Giving you a shout back about Thomas Street.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hoping I caught you at a good time. Just wanted to follow up with you. I think you spoke with one of my team members. And we wanted to see if we can get an offer together for you that could work for you. If this is still a good time.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Look, so I know you spoke with Shannon, I believe, maybe even earlier today, this morning. He gave me some good notes. I get it. I got a feel for what's left on the mortgage, but how much were you hoping to get for this one?
So I was hoping 285. I was going to sell to an investor or wholesaler or anyone who didn't really have a buyer's agent that needed to be paid. And I guess that would be amenable to the buyer taking over the current mortgage and then paying me the cash difference between the asking price of 285 and the current mortgage at 133.
Got it. That would be a pretty hefty down deposit. That difference there. But I'm taking a look at it now. I just pulled it up, and I see what it's listed for sale currently.
Yeah.
Got it. Are you working with an agent?
I'm listing as an MLS brokerage agent. So I paid someone like $250 to list that my listing on the MLS, but it's for sale by
owner. Okay. That's helpful. Just checking into it. Pictures look. I'm assuming that they're current since it's a listing. Was there a tenant staying here, or is this your primary residence?
It was my primary residence, and my sister is moving in tomorrow for a month-to-month lease. I told her that as soon as I get a buyer, I'm going to ask her to find a new place. So, I for your intents and purposes, there is no tenant.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. So, part of our process is like I'm checking out the comps, kind of seeing what's how things are selling in the area, see if I can even get to
Mhm.
that ballpark. As a sub two deal, kind of where we take over the mortgage. There's a few things that I would want to need to know, just as far
Mhm.
as like what you're paying monthly, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, to see if it makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
Um,
paying $985 for my um, whole mortgage payment, principal, interest, insurance, and taxes.
okay, that's helpful. Um, were you going to be charging your sister market rent, or she's getting the family discount?
She's getting the family discount,
There you go.
and just charging her the carrying cost. So the mortgage payment plus another like $250 for utilities.
Okay, smart. Um, I was just trying to check out how much stuff is renting for in the area.
Yeah, the house across the street was newly renovated a few years ago, and I think according to Zillow, it's starting count for like 2,100 or something. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's in the ballpark.
Got it. Okay. How's the listing been going for you so far? Are you getting any
It's been going
interest
okay.
or offers?
I got a young couple to walk through just on Thursday or not Thursday. Today's Thursday. Tuesday,
Yeah.
maybe Tuesday. Yesterday or the day before. Time's running together. But yeah, they liked it. I could overhear the girl really saying that she was considering it, and I told the agent, and they said, told the agent it's for sale by owner. I said, oh, great. And by the way, they seemed to have some interest, so we might be reaching back out to you soon. So
Okay.
went really well.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just trying to get a feel if you were getting any offers around the price that you were hoping to be able to sell this for, something that you thought made sense, or is it are some of the offers coming in a bit lower than where you want to be?
Yeah,
On
no offers
this?
yet, but I'm pretty confident in my. I hired my buddy who's real estate agent.
This is not a deal.
And he said in the 2
That'll be a tough sub too. It's active.
The development in the area,
It's an active listing.
The only reason I'm kind of entertaining it is just to see kind of if he would be negotiable on his terms. Let's see if that can make sense, especially since he kind of got it like a for sale by owner situation. But the comps don't even support it. Got it. Makes sense. Okay. See, I don't know if we would be the best fit for this. We've done some sub twos. Me and my partner have done, a handful of sub twos. Not our, not something I specialize in, but when it makes sense, we can definitely put it together. And usually it's kind of a situation where, we're taking over something. Maybe there's a little bit of a down payment. They need to get out of it. We're assuming the mortgage is at a decent rate, which I think there's some spread between your payments and what you could rent for. I think that's there. But at the same time, I actually didn't ask you about your interest rate.
3%.
That's a great interest rate.
I'm loath to let that mortgage go, but it just makes sense.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, I think it's the down payment that worries me. Would you be willing to spread that out over time?
How does so when someone assumes your mortgage, I thought that typically they'd pay the difference between the mortgage and the sales price, put into a real big down payment. What's the way it normally works out for you guys?
Yeah. So in a situation like this, an ideal situation for me, if we needed to spend some money to get into the property, it would be something, not too hefty, 5 grand, 10 grand, and we've done 20 max, right? But the difference between what we would ultimately, be selling, buying it from you for, and the mortgage amount that will be paid at the term of the sub two. So maybe we do, take over the mortgage for 3 years, 5 years, and then at the end of that term, then there's a balloon payment, pays you out, you're free and clear. Mortgage is satisfied, and then we've either taken over a property, refinanced it, or something like that.
Right.
So that's kind of the type of deals that we try to get into. If it is sub two, a lot of times it's the seller, in a situation where they need to walk away, and they just say, hey, I don't want it to mess up my credit, and they have a really good interest rate, and we can take over the payments, help them out, get a good project for ourselves, and then we're not coming out of pocket a bunch, because typically we're going in and cleaning it up and getting it rental ready so that we can start making some of that cash flow back. So yeah, this one probably will be tight for us. And then just as a straight cash purchase, I think that you have it listed at a good retail price. I'd probably be a lot closer to 200 than 3. Maybe somewhere there in the middle. I'm not saying that that's my offer, but just at a cash offer on this, I need the ability to go in and either do some renovations, get it back on the market, or have it be a good rental for us. And that kind of 1% rule, if I'm renting it for $2,100 a month, I'm going to want to be all in on the property for about $210,000, right? And that's just on the rental basis. But on a cash basis, I still need enough room to come in, renovate it, and then resell it, and make some money for the time of the project. So I don't think
okay, well, I think we might be a little bit too far apart. Yeah, I'm setting myself up, my sister renting everything just for the long haul in case, it takes a while to sell at retail or whatever.
Yeah. Well, look, if anything changes, definitely feel free to reach out. If I can think of something else a little bit more creative, you already have it listed. Sometimes we do, work with homeowners and help them get their property out to the market at a price that works for them, where we can make some money as well, and we'll facilitate the transaction. You already got it listed, so I think you're in good shape there. But if I can think of something else creative, I can reach back out to you. If something changes for you and you say, hey, let's figure out a way to make this sub 2 work, definitely reach back out to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your call. And hey, have a great 4th of July weekend.
You as well. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he was a wholesaler at first, an agent. I mean, it sounds like he's kind of has some understanding or awareness, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But kind of break that one down for us, man. What'd you kind of see there?
Yeah, I mean, it's about retail as retail can get, but to your point, I think that he may have some awareness of sub 2. So maybe he's been, on YouTube and hearing more about it. Like we've been talking about, real estate transactions, creative transactions are getting more in the mainstream because of the economy. So I think he just, he's super retail. I don't think he understands what makes a good sub 2 deal, but he's aware of it. And it would not make sense for if he's trying to get all of his equity up front and have us take over the mortgage. It wouldn't make sense. I'd probably spend a good bit of time with them, trying to educate them, a little bit on the process.
Yeah, but he's looking for retail, isn't really trying to, really do anything for real, right?
No,
some people are just better for retail buyers, and so that definitely makes sense, man.
Definitely.
All right, I'm gonna jump into let me see what I got in front of me here.
Yo, shout out to Vanessa, by the way. I know she's been doing some damage, getting some good deals in, some good leads, hustling.
Yo, Vanessa's working, man. I see Vanessa on the coaching calls. I see her, just making the push, man, and stepping up and showing leadership in the community. Shout out to Vanessa. I hear you on the morning call. I hear you encouraging people, talking about your experience, what you've been able to do so far. So shout out to you for sure.
Yeah. Grinding for real.
See. All right, I'm gonna go Diana. I think this is Diana. Yeah. Pittsburgh, PA. Whose deal is this? All right.
That other VA one is Sean.
I'll grab that as the next one. Let me know which one it is.
Okay.
Please leave your message for.
Oh, come on now.
Please leave your message.
All right, we got to go triple dial. If for nothing else, for Kurt. All right, double closings today.
Oh yeah.
Please leave your message for.
All right, now she's hitting a button on me now.
She's sending.
Yeah, let me note this one, and then I can call that one you just told me. What's the first name?
Shoot. Sean.
All right, cool. Yeah, let me pull Sean up. You fam, yo, shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. All right, we got, if you've been rocking with us, you know the deal. All right, we got unlimited skip tracing coming on Monday. All right, for OfferBolt users, if you have leads on your OfferBolt account, next week you will get 15,000 skip trace records a month included in that subscription. This is not an ad, Brandon. All right, guys, this is not an ad. All right,
it's a blessing.
This is a blessing. All right, 15,000 records a month, skip trace. That previously was 10 cents per record. You're going to get included in your Leads app subscription. If you already have leads, your price will be the same. If you add leads, on or after Monday, all right, price is the price. All right, so if you don't have leads, make sure you got leads. And I bring this up, Brandon, because I'm looking at leads right now, and I'm looking at the new version of it that we've got. We got AI lead scoring in here. I've been testing some of the leads, looking to see how the AI lead scoring is playing, and it's dope. It's giving me a range, right, of likelihood to sell on some of these leads. So what I want to do too, as we're calling some of these, because I think let's test it live. I'm always talking to the group on the coaching calls about testing and stuff like that. So y'all chat, let me know what y'all think. What about if we just test it live right now? I'm getting ready to call a lead, and I'm going to plug it in. I want to see what the lead score is on it, and likelihood to sell. And then let's see if that reflects in the conversation. All right. So we're going to call Sean here. Let's see what shakes out. I see somebody in the chat. I see Tiff. Shout out to Tiff. All right. Said yes, that's a verbal ad. No. Okay. No, it's not an ad. All right, it's not an ad. It's just facts. All right, it's just a facts. All right, so let's see. All right, I got this guy Sean. I'm gonna plug this address. This is in the city. This is in the city.
Sheesh.
All right, let's see.
100.
All right, so I'm plugging this in, and let me see what kind of lead score I get with that. Other cool thing about this too, Brandon, is and I'm explaining all this right now because we don't have that many leads from you all. All right, so
I was literally about to call the seller back.
I'm stretching a little time in case you guys want to send in some leads for us to call. But let me tell you guys about this. So it also has AI that tells me, let's see what it says. Property is flagged as upside down. All right, has a $3.2 million loan on it. So this could be an investor potentially that owns this, maybe is in some trouble. Lead score is like 500 out of, I think the range is 1,000. So let's call them. All right, let's see what we get when we do. The last name on Sean, Brandon, is unknown.
Yeah, I didn't pull it up. I was gonna pull it up and
anything over 500 is good. All right. We've got a 520 on this that they're likely to sell at a discount in the next 90 days. All right. This is owned by an LLC. Generally, we're calling off market owners, not LLCs. All right, but we got Sean unknown, and let's see what's potentially going on here. Sounds like they've got a commercial loan for $3.7 million on a few different properties, and could potentially be in a situation where they need to sell. Guys, in offer vote now and leads, you'll be able to see. Like I can see that this person who owns this property owns 17 other residential properties, so you'll be able to also identify if the seller potentially owns other properties as well. They might be interested in selling. Chat, I'm trying to turn y'all up, you fam. I don't know if y'all catching my drift. All right, I'm trying to turn y'all up for the second half of the year. All right, let's see what Sean's got going on. I might got to call him from myself. Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, I got one I'm comping. At the same time, sellers thirsty for an offer.
All right, let's try it this way.
50. 150.
Hey, I was calling for Sean. This is Chris. I was giving you a call on 49th Street. You had been speaking with somebody in my office, I believe.
Yeah, somebody called me this morning.
Okay. Yeah, I look, was looking over the notes. My name's Chris. I'm the owner here, and they mentioned you were looking, I guess, to, I guess you're selling some of your properties. Or are you selling your entire portfolio? Where are you kind of at on things at the moment?
I'm not sure. I'm just starting to kind of put together some small packages.
Understood. Okay.
So I'm really not. I just started actually this week, just starting to break some of them up and see what I was going to do.
Gotcha. Makes sense, man. Are you just kind of cashing out, or what's kind of the motivation, I guess, behind it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had these things for 20 some years, and I might just start to slow down a little bit. So I've been building a lot of new ones.
Gotcha.
So I just kind of just looking to see what my options are right now and go from there.
Understood.
So it's not a fire sale by any means. It's just me seeing what kind of choices I have.
Sure. No, I'm with you, man. I mean, look, I'm looking to, if there's a deal, an opportunity to make a decent deal, that's what we're looking to do. Obviously, I mean, we're buying property sounds like you're in the business, right? To either, fix it up and rent it out, or, fix it up and flip it. Just kind of, really depending on what kind of purchase price we walk into on something. So, that's kind of what drives it for us, and, what the cost of repairs are. I mean, how much money would you say we'd have to look at even kind of putting into it from your experience?
I mean, it's a solid house, so I would think it would just be cosmetics. You know, kitchen and bath updating probably, but the whole house is hardwoods. I did a roof not too long ago. I don't really know, as sad as it sounds, because I just a buddy of mine manages all my stuff for me, so I'm not
I got you.
on the day to day anymore.
No, it makes sense.
My day to day is building new ones, I'm building multifamily now. So
Oh, really? Okay. Ain't no doubt, man.
That's kind of what I spend all my time on, and I don't, unless there's a problem, I don't really get involved.
Understood. Yeah, I mean, I think you know, for me, man, if I was to kind of jump on something and for it to make sense, I don't know if it's workable for you. I'd be, you know, somewhere in the probably 145 to 155 range at the moment. Is that, you know, worth a conversation with you, or how do you kind of feel about that?
Nah, nothing against you, but no, it's just not.
Sure.
At this time, it's not. No.
All right. No, understood, man. I mean, where would you need to be at on that? I mean, I know you're at 245 from what I understand. I mean, do you have any flexibility at all, or?
I told the guy this morning that I'd have to talk to my partner, and I haven't talked to him all day. So I'd have to really just wait. That's what I told the gentleman that called this morning. I said I'd have to wait and see what my partner, get his input.
Gotcha. Well, what about this, man? Sean, how about I give you a call maybe, you know, Tuesday or something like that after the holiday? Hopefully you enjoy your fourth, man, and give you a chance to talk with your partner. And if you got a counter, you know, prior to that, you know, shoot me a text, and, you know, if it's workable, you know, we could talk about it. If not, I'll, you know, shoot it straight and tell you that we can't do anything with it. But just let me know.
I will. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Bye. Brandon, you can unmute if you want.
Yeah, he put me on hold. He's trying to get his partner. If you want to break that down, you can.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's got experience. He's looking to get max value.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, how's it going?
He's tied up, but we can go ahead and discuss. We pretty much talked about it.
Got it. Yeah, and I had a little bit of time to kind of dig in a little bit and speak to my agent that is real familiar with the area. We did pull a bunch of different, you know, examples, what's active, what's pending. Looked at the pictures. And I know we kind of were talking around that 70K offer. That's kind of where I was holding firm at. As I looked at it, had a conversation with them, I really feel like I need to be a lot closer to 60. And I know that's not what you guys are looking to get, but in this area, especially with this market, folks are just not taking as big a risk and swings. There's so much inventory. I got to make sure that, you know, we do this tip top, you know, the best, you know, type of rehab that we can. So I know we're going to put a lot into it, so it's not sitting when we're done. And so, you know, just to have that cushion, just in case it does sit for a bit, I know we need that cushion if we're going to put in anywhere from 80 to 100 into it.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, we kept it very candid with you all that it did need work. We told you where we got our numbers. I mean, the pictures, they're exactly what, you know, we described. It's not necessarily nothing new on our end. We even told you, you know, a reasonable 80 to 100K in terms of renovation, whether that's what you guys use or not. You know, we kept it fair. I would say anywhere in the 60s. We were kind of, you know, that, like we said, we were getting actual bids around the 75 mark. It's just yours sounded more entertaining because we can move faster on it. And honestly, we were prepared to settle at 70. So honestly, to hear that we're back in the 60s, we're moving backwards on our end. And like I said, when you guys came to, however you did your calculations to get to 70, I don't know if pictures or whatever extra things you guys did, but everything we told you when we got to 70 is still what remains. So, I mean, if there's a way we can get back to 70, we'd love to not only close this deal, but we have a couple other ones, not just in that area, but throughout New Orleans, we can create a long-term partnership with. But to be honest, like anything in 60s, you know, we our minds, you know, we were cool with 70 and up.
Yeah, I know that makes sense. I think when we were first talking about that 70 number, that was prior to the pictures. You know, it seeing how
But the
rough it
pictures aren't
is.
anything different. And honestly, I feel like that's what happened. I mean, nothing we described to you is different than what we said in the pictures. We kept it real with you with the repair cost. The pictures just confirmed it. What we were looking at.
This guy's a beast.
Yeah,
You know,
but
we could have lowballed and said less with the repair value. We didn't do any of that because we know what it is. We know what the type of value that is. And at this point, you know, 70 we felt was honestly fair. Because even our
hey, check that address. Tell me what you
All
think.
right, hold on. What's the first name?
You know, once we got to 70,
First name?
Chandler. I texted to you. I texted the full address to you.
All right, bet.
But there's some pictures in the
I'm about to pull it up real quick.
I'm not surprised.
Well, so
you know, saw pictures. That's kind of part of, you know, people's process. They get turned off even more, even after you already described the damage. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised, but at the same time, our 70 mark, you know, we thought was pretty fair.
yeah, you know what? In the pictures, it was kind of like a snapshot. You know, I know you sent a few. It wasn't like a full on, you know, multiple pictures in each room. So it kind of it leads me to feel that if I'm just seeing that, there's probably even more that I'm not seeing, right? And because like even in one of the pictures, you can see the roof is coming in, you know, the ceiling is caved in, and you can see it on the floor, but I can't see the whole hole, you know. So it felt like it was maybe a little more rough, and even, you know, what the pictures are showing. And
Gotcha.
let me I can have another conversation with my partner, see if I can do any more. Before I do that, though, tell me about the bids that you mentioned you received. Had you guys actually gotten some offers? You know, folks that actually came out to the property, checked it out, or was that, you know, you've had some conversations over the phone, or somebody came in
For
around
this
70?
particular one or some other ones?
Oh, for this one.
So for this one, we have an offer it's at 73. We had an offer at 73. And the thing about that is the guy, he's an investor. He was out of town. So we had a realtor we was working with, just to be, you know, candid, which we had a realtor we were working with. Her guy was out of town. But from what he saw, the same pictures you saw, he was able to do 73 and put some work into it. His whole, like we said, our thing with you all, the reason we were able to agree at 70 is because your timeline sounded a lot more attractive. I mean, the quicker we can move them, you know, it's not a holding game. I mean, the extra 2,000, we're going to get that at another property. So we're not necessarily
Put them.
Yeah.
See if you can put them on hold real quick.
That way, but we're just trying to create, you know, continue moving.
Yeah.
We have other properties that we're trying to get under contract. So when you all were talking 70, we joined together. We were like, okay, it's a little lower than what our other guys talking about, but at the same time, if we can move on this by the end of this week, that makes sense. So we can get started on, you know, and start, you know, focusing on other ones.
Yeah.
And like we said, we're trying to build connections. I don't know
for
if
sure. Look,
guys
it makes a lot of sense. And look, my partner is he's in the office. Let me see if I can let me chop it up with him real quick and see if there's anything extra that we can do to maybe get a little closer to where you want to be.
All right, cool.
All right, give me 2 seconds. Stay on the phone.
Bro, is he trying to wrap up the offer or the whole? He talking like he getting the money by the end of the week, man.
Oh, and
tomorrow
they've been
live, bro.
They've been on my neck too. Like since we spoke on Closing Conversations on Tuesday, and I told them, you know, I'd be able to have something for you the next day. And I said, hey, give me another day. We'll speak on Thursday. And they've been blowing up. They've been texting, you know, back and forth all day trying to.
Hey, this guy's a closer. I mean, dude, he's working on this call, bro. I mean, he's putting in work on this call. Yeah. So he's saying they're willing to go 70. I don't see the pictures because I've been pulling a little, you know, some comps. I mean, how?
Let me see if they're in the.
This is a duplex.
Yeah, I think they're actually in the record. I text you the full name.
Yeah, hold on.
And so I'm pulling duplexes, but
Mhm.
it's also like a non-disclosure state, so I'm not seeing a lot of sales before the renovation. But there are, HUD homes, bank sales in the 50s and 60s, but there's also some nicer ones. So it's kind of all over the place. And I tried to get some feedback from my guy down there, and he wasn't
Yeah.
able to get back in touch with me in time. So that's kind of why I was trying to hold him off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing no, hold on.
I feel like get him at 60, exit at 70. He's saying it needs 80 to 100, right? The ARV in the low to mid twos. Some of them are selling around that. I've seen a few sell around 3, but they seem a little bigger, maybe an extra bathroom.
I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, this is kind of tough actually. Hold on.
Yeah.
Because see, I'm only seeing the single family comps right now. I mean, what's your gut instinct on it?
Even if you check investor base, I do feel like we need to be at 60 so we can try to exit at 70. Putting this out there at 80 is tough.
Yeah.
From my perspective, just what I'm seeing in the map. And then what they're telling me, like, hey, you need a full renovation, full renovation. An investor base is pulling up multifamily.
I got it now. I mean, look, I think that.
Oh, let me say something. Hey, Chandler, 2 more seconds. I'm wrapping up.
All right, cool.
All right. What's that?
I think the difficulty, right, is that ultimately it likely is a price drop. So it's like you're getting under. It's one of those you get under contract and take like a swing at.
That part.
And it's a 50-50 ball.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think the question then for me then just becomes, how active is the immediate market there? Because that's really going to drive the reality of, all right, if I try to take this swing, it's a 50-50 ball. How likely is it something comes out of it? Right.
Yeah.
So let me make this note real quick.
And I'm tired of, hitting them 50-50 balls. And
I think on this one, here's what I think we do on this one. If you want, I think, hey, look, I want to talk to my partner. We're kind of kicking it back and forth right now. I don't want to keep you on hold. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me talk it back and forth with him. I'm really kind of trying to advocate for it and push for it because you could tell he's highly motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm trying to advocate for it, kind of coming up in price, and I'm kind of getting close to getting on the same page. But I need a few minutes. Like, hey, let me give you a call right back.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that many leads, and we can talk through the comps a little bit and kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's a bet. I think, in a few months ago, I might have been feeling different, but I'm seeing so much active inventory everywhere just sitting.
You're right.
I got you in here. He got us on hold real quick.
This is his partner.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
Look at that.
Chandler, I just jumped back in.
Hey, what's up, my man?
Hey, what's going on? So look, I was able to talk with my partner a bit, really trying to see if we can wiggle, get closer to that number. So we kind of kicking it back and forth and trying to really find, some extra cushion here to make it make sense. Of course, I'm trying to advocate to make this deal work. I do see, potential for a long-term relationship, but give me. I don't want to keep you guys on hold. Give me a few minutes. I can give you a shout back. We can talk about it a little deeper, look at some comps together, and see if we can get back to an offer that can work for you guys.
Okay. I mean, what is he saying? I mean, what exactly do we got to necessarily go over? I mean, we've been kind of going back and forth the last 3 days.
64. Tell him 64.
Phone tag. I'm trying to make this, beneficial for everybody so we can move forward. And like you said, and like what we want, long-term partnership. Is there a way he can hop on with us? Just like, we're on the phone, or what's that look like?
Well, look, because we were going back and forth. We were thinking maybe we could do 64. I told him that you guys are pretty adamant around 70. So, I'm seeing if there's any more, kind of way we can make it work where we can get a little closer to where you guys need to be. Right now, we're really kind of pinned in around that 64 number.
Okay, so we dropped 6,000. Well, that's just 6,000. We can't get back to 70 and close the deal. It's 6,000. We got down to 70 from our asking price. We can't just meet at 70 and cut the confusion and the back and forth. We're ready to start on other ventures, and like I said, we're willing to go at 70.
Look,
like that's
if we had a met, like, bro, and you guys, I know, you guys are savvy. You've been investing for a while. I know you're seeing what's going on in the market. Had this been some months ago, maybe, sentiment, my feeling about what's going on, what's to come would be a little bit more optimistic, but we really got to be smart, with the projects that we take on. And this is a full rehab, easy, easy rehabs, I'm jumping on all day, right? If it's a full rehab where we're really kind of getting down to the studs and redoing everything, being a lot more conservative just with everything that's going on right now. So, I'm seeing what I can do. I'm trying to make it work. We're at 64 right now. I know you guys are at 70. If you guys give me a few minutes, I can give you a shout back and see if we can bridge that gap.
Okay. And who's the other guy? Can he hop on with us?
I'll give him a shout. My partner Chris. I'll see if we can hop on together. But I know we'll probably be in the office for another hour or so. So, we'll make sure we give you a shout back.
Okay, you said about another hour.
Well, I'm gonna be in the office for another hour, so I might be able to give you a call sooner than that. But
okay.
But yeah, I'll be here for the next hour.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right. Appreciate it. Good looks. They serious about this 70, man.
Hey, yo, chat, what is going on? Chat, this might be the most motivated seller of closing conversation so far. All right, this guy is, chat, talk to me, man. What do y'all think? This guy is motivated.
He's up there.
All right, this guy, I mean, how do we get him on the team? He's parched for sure. This guy's certainly thirsty. All right. He wants to sell this thing. I think I don't know, Brandon. I kind of feel like he'll come down, but I feel like he might not also. What is your gut instinct telling you from the call?
Yeah, look, they started at 80. They feel like they got an offer, and now he done told me 73.
How long ago did you guys start at the 80?
This was just Tuesday.
Okay, so he's pressing in. What is he saying his reason is for selling?
I think they're trying to let go of this one. They got other projects. This is one that they didn't want to have to, take on and do the full renovation. They wanted to let this go, cash out, and move their money to somewhere else. So though he's showing, hella motivation, it's not like a motivating factor.
Right.
Unless they're not telling us like they're in a cash crunch type situation and they really need the bread.
It's my hunch. Right.
It do kind of feel like that, don't it?
Because, look, they're in the property game. I'm looking, they own a few properties. We know people are having problems out here right now. And we can't assume that we're not talking to somebody who also is, right? He's just pushing really hard for the sale. And my hunch is that he'd go lower.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been wrong before. So I'm not.
And then there's two of them.
It's a hunch.
And so and typically
you got other partners too.
John is the one that's more playing the numbers. Like when I first started asking about the property, the condition, the situation, the renovation, John was the one that was piping up. So
and you can he's obviously got sales experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. He clearly knows what he's doing. I mean, chat, what do y'all think? I see Ken said he's playing poker. I mean, the guy, y'all are going toe to toe. Y'all are going toe to toe right now. Brandon, I gotta salute you too, real quick, by the way, because the way you smooth pivoted into the market conversation, that is why my hunch is he'll go lower.
Yeah,
because you're speaking to his intelligence. It's like, hey, you see what's going on, and you really broke it down really well. So, I mean, chat, what do y'all think? Do y'all think he'd come down to 64? 60, 65, maybe, Brandon, 66. But the problem is, man, again, I still think at 66 is a 50-50 ball.
Yeah, exactly. That part.
That's the only problem here, is that it likely still is a renegotiation.
Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, how the market's been, and the deals that we've been working, I've been working. I think a lot of folks have been and feeling this. It's like, do you want to continue to do this, or are you sharpening your axe and just saying, yo, I need it here, take it or leave it?
Right.
And that's kind of how I started to, pivot myself, just generally speaking with sellers altogether, is like, yo, the market is what it is. This either needs to be a really great deal and you're motivated enough, you'll move forward with it, or not. As we waste time, trying to get renegotiation and stuff that we can't move. So, it just is.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's actually a really great point. I think we are coming to that spot in the market where there's enough people that are ready to sell right now, that want to sell right now, that even though it's always been a numbers game, like the opportunity gap is like opening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy that, he's saying he's got 73, but this is my whole thing. That's why I got this hunch. As motivated as he is, he would have taken the 73 and he wouldn't be fighting you to come up. Like if I had 73 in my pocket and I got somebody on the phone and then I've already come from 80 to 70 and now they're like, hey, I'm at 60. What does most sellers say? They're like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
This guy's chasing it down, which kind of gives me the vibe that he's gonna, he would move down. Might got a good cop, bad cop it, potentially. But what's the call? Chat, what is the call? I mean, it's ultimately truly a 50-50 ball, because it's quite possible that this regardless doesn't sell. Brandon, it sounds like you're saying and seeing the same thing, right?
That's how I feel.
I see one in here for, 85. I mean,
comparables. Yeah.
And this was a single family converted to a duplex?
I think it was originally a duplex because it's a bunch of them around there. It feels like a heavy, it's like a
I mean, look, and this is another one of those, Brandon, yeah, there's a bunch of these same kind of, I don't know what you call these kind of duplexes.
Right.
This is New Orleans.
Yeah, definitely.
But, it's when you hit that good old street view and it, it looks how it looks. It's like, come on, man.
Got the vacant lot right next door.
That's what I'm, it's like, it's like, come on, so I don't know. The vacant lot photos back from 2023 and the house has, tree moss growing on it. And, I mean, you get the picture, man.
Mm-hmm.
It does like people are renovating in the area.
In their defense, like going down the street, you definitely see some other ones that are decent.
Yeah, people are picking these things up. Let me look at another comp real quick. And he's at. All right, hold on, Brandon. Do you think you can get him lower, or do you think you'd have to go to his number? I've already said kind of what I think.
So I feel like they're going to try to stick to that number. Are they willing to walk away? I think we might have to walk away from this conversation today and let them sit on it. But going up, it just doesn't. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to me.
All right, so hold on. Why don't we do this? I agree with this. So why don't we do this though? Why don't you hit him back? All right, hit him with the good cop, bad cop. Hit him back. Tell him, hey, look, my partner, I'm catching him on the way out. He's already getting ready to leave. he's at 64. He told me to go ahead and make it happen if I can. But if not, we've got a couple other opportunities in the neighborhood on the line that we're working on. Prefer to try to get something done here too if we can, but ultimately think we can get at least a couple of these other ones that we're looking at. And let's see how he plays it. I chat. What do y'all think is going to happen if Brandon does this? I think he's going to sign. I think he'll take the deal. Chat, y'all tell us what y'all think. I think he'll take the deal though.
You're trying to play good cop, bad cop too.
Yeah, like he's willing and dealing right now. Like the guy's good. Like he clearly has experience.
The other thing that's rough is just looking at some of these comps. I think it may be a non-disclosure state, if I'm not mistaken. So I can see some sales, not all.
This is the Chandler guy, right?
Around it.
And this is for the New Orleans deal, yeah?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm seeing some sale prices, but a lot of them are also missing.
And here's the thing too. I think what I see here's what I think, Brennan. All right. I do also think that, by the way, this is a good deal. Here's what I just want to be clear what I'm saying when I see a 50-50 ball too. I think that the best buyer for the property is somebody that would buy it and convert it back to a single family because it's already basically a full gut. The single family product in the area is selling for a pretty good price. Right? Like, are you seeing the same thing? Like I'm seeing that some of these I see a 340, a 325, a 337.
I was seeing a lot of multifamily. Let me look for single.
Let's see. Hold on.
So and then after this, I gotta call this agent back about that Chicago deal. Single family. Remove boundary. So yeah, I see like the 265.
Like I think it's a play because the ones that are going converted back to single family, same square footage, right? Because this is a full gut. So the ones that are going, 200 plus into the threes, like I'm looking at this one right here, 1,600 square feet. It's a 3.2, so slightly smaller than this one. On the same street. And, that one went fully fixed up. Looks really good. But that one went for 340.
Property types. Single family. Okay. I'm gonna give them a shout back. Should we let them sit on it a minute?
Nah, I think you hit him back and
yeah, let him know you was about to head out.
Yeah, I think you hit him back and run that play. I think he wants to do a deal.
Yeah, that's the right one.
And then, but I would just stage it up too if you want. Like, hey, we can give you, I can, check with him again tomorrow, or maybe at the top of tomorrow's the 4th. Hey, I'll check with him, Monday, Tuesday, and, see if something's kind of changed, and, we can think about it over the weekend. And if not, hey, we'll just let you guys know that it doesn't work for us. Boom, boom, boom. I think that this is just my hunch. I'm just telling you, Brandon, is your lead. I've been wrong before.
Yeah,
I've definitely been.
We all have.
It's just a hunch.
Let's see what they do.
And if he pushes too hard, tag me into the call too, and I'll jump on like he asked.
Okay. Can you do an extra call on here?
Nah.
Hey, Chandler.
Hey, Brendan.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is John still available?
Yeah, I just punched him in.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Brennan, what's going on, Sam?
Yeah, look, we definitely kind of went back and forth, tried to make this thing work, get a little closer to where you guys want to be. Think it's gonna be a little too tough to get there. Maybe you can come up like 65, 66, maybe. But as we're seeing things, it's just it seems like a heavy rehab. And then talking with my partner, he was just heading out the door, so we did kind of go in and kind of get into it. And I really tried to advocate to make this thing work at 70, but it's just I think it's gonna be a little too tough.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let me ask you this, Brennan. I know we sent over the pictures and stuff. What's changed from like what you guys were expecting versus what you saw in the pictures?
Nothing's changed.
Gotcha.
I think, as looking at the pictures, like I mentioned to Chandler before you hopped on, that was, it was a few pictures, it was a snapshot. I think there's some other areas that may also need some work, and I understand it's a full renovation, but you can see partial the ceiling falling in certain places, can't see the whole picture of it. So I'm assuming like it needs significant work, maybe even more than what the pictures show.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's what I was just trying to gauge, because really what we've been trying to be transparent the entire time. We felt like that was kind of what we explained in the first call. It's just the overall condition of it. So just based on the expectation, I would say, and the rehab costs kind of staying the same from what we kind of quoted. Just trying to get a better understanding with where you guys are dropping down to like mid-60s versus the 70 that you previously offered.
Yeah, look, I mean, the market has been rough, and I mentioned this to Chandler also. Like what we're seeing this across the board and multiple markets, just stuff sitting, needing to be conservative, especially with the full gut rehabs. That's taking on a huge project and not knowing, hey, at the end of this, is it going to sell quickly? Is it going to sell slow? Do we need to put more into it? Make it the nicest one on the block? Should we convert it single family? Like there's a lot of unknowns here, so definitely got to be smart, especially in this market. And you guys know, like you guys see what's going on.
For sure. And that's why I'm asking, because at the end of the day, although we definitely want to work for us and we wanted a long-term partnership. I'm sure Taylor mentioned that. So the key to that for us is to making sure that your investments work out. You know what I mean? So by no stretch are we trying to overprice anything or gouge you in any way. I'm not sure how much he told you. We had an offer, not at the 75, we're being transparent, but we had an offer come back at 73 that we really liked as far as the numbers, but the timeline was different.
Yeah.
So we kind of, we're leaning towards yours. So for us, the reason we were even, willing to have that conversation back with you all was just because we figured that 70K was where you guys were at. So if that's not the case, I mean, it kind of puts us in a tough spot. Because at that point, we not move forward with that 73 offer, really for not to say no reason, but we drop down and lose out when we don't necessarily have to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I guess from my perspective, it's like, hey, you guys had, a pretty solid offer, on the table. Is there a reason, I mean, other than the timeline, maybe this timeline is quicker, that didn't make sense for you? Because if it is about price, if it's a price motivation, you guys need that number, then I think that would be a great offer for you. But where we're sitting, we need to make sure that this works for us and our buy box and what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was the big thing. I mean, we put that one, just to be full transparency, it's one of the realtors that we work with. And so we really we're back and forth with our client who was out of town. So it kind of delayed things.
Yeah.
Commission? They probably were paying commission on that 73 too.
Already had a good conversation with you, and we're kind of okay with you. Really what I'm saying is that, do you think there's no chance we can get it closer back to that number?
Well, look, I mean, as you mentioned that, you guys had an agent that you were working with. I'm assuming they were taking some commission. were you guys actually going to be walking away with 73?
We're really going to get closer to like 70, to be honest. So if they can just balance off.
Got it.
And this is me. Listen, this is me telling you everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And that makes it feel even closer, right? To from where you guys are, where we feel like we need to be. And even at this, like, it's not, a grand slam deal. Like, it's not a no-brainer, even at 65. So, that's kind of, while we're sticking to our guns. But like I mentioned, I know my partner Chris, he had to get out. I'm sure you got plans for the 4th. Maybe you guys sit on it. Maybe we could reconvene Monday. See if something shakes over the weekend, and maybe something shakes on our end too.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I'll tell you this: if I'm being honest, if we can't get a little bit closer to that 70, we're probably likely just going to move forward with the realtor. If I'm being honest, maybe this isn't the right deal for you all, and for reasons why I can understand. But I can't see us missing, losing out just because, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd be taking $5K less when we have a pretty solid offer already.
Mm-hmm.
Although we do want to work with you all, and it sounds like, things will move quicker with you and your partner Chris, but it'll be tough. It'll be a tough pill to swallow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But 65, we just can't do it, if I'm being all the way honest. I mean, maybe this, yes, you can tell me yes, no. 69, we drop $1,000, but that'll be just, us still losing, but we'll be maybe willing to do that if Chandler would co-sign, but that's probably the absolute bottom we can go.
Got it. Well, look, like I said, I mean, he had to run. I'm trying to get out of here for the holiday weekend. But how about I get you guys an offer over so you guys can actually take a look at it? If we can, bump it up a bit, I'll talk with them on my way back, and see if it makes sense. Once you guys actually see it in writing, and you guys can make a decision and get back together on Monday.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That works. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, Brendan. So, and I'm not gonna keep you because it's the holiday weekend for us. So,
let's
go.
Nah, we right here with it, man. Let's go, man. Chat,
Right.
what's up, man? We do this for
Right.
real, man. He ready, man.
Right.
Hearing. We talked about this 2 days ago, and we were solid at 70. I don't see how we go from 70 to 65. The market hasn't changed in 2 days. So I just don't. And everything we've told you, even down to what we just told you about when we would give our realtor, everything we're doing is we're trying to build honest relationships. Even when you told us about, how you respected our honesty about the renovation that needed to go into the project. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for us, even if, let's just say this doesn't work out. I'm not even talking about this property anymore. I'm talking long term. That's how I think. Long term, I don't see how.
So bro sent the pictures after the 70 number.
Yeah, remind him of that, but then kind of hit him with the good cop, bad cop too. Because they stand in the pocket. If I need to jump in, you don't need me on this call though. By the way,
Right? No,
you're killing this call. This is a dope ass call.
Appreciate
All right, killing this shit. But yeah, keep rocking. But kind of start boxing them a little.
Going into the holiday weekend, I think we all can have a better weekend if we can agree between there. You see what I'm saying? I just think 5K in 2 days. I don't really, what I'm saying? Just, and like I said, it's not even just this, but I'm saying long term. Is that how we'll conduct things? Because
no, I mean, look, hey, and Chandler, and remember, when we talked on Tuesday, we talked about, I felt like I could maybe make this work at 70. You guys sent the photos right after we got off the phone. I'm sharing it with my team. Of course, Chris doesn't have the rapport with you guys that I do. Share the pictures with him. And at the end of the day, we got to agree on our offers, right? And so I can't do nothing just unilaterally if we're going in on this project together. And so I just want to make sure that we're both comfortable with it. And, trying to be fair, like I said, that was the only thing that happened. It wasn't just overnight. I dropped it 5K. I got the photo, shared it with the team. We talked, we reviewed, looked at the comps. That's how we came to our number.
Okay, so when you came with the 70, you was just, that wasn't no, knowledge or anything behind that. I guess that's where I'm asking.
No, bro. Look, I've been in this business for years, right? Between me and my partner, we got decades of experience, and I felt really comfortable at that number. And after looking at photos, talking it over, we're 5K off. That's not a canyon, like that's a creek. So it's not like I just jumped, off the end of the dock. Like it wasn't that big of a difference. And so I'm looking at comps. I'm looking as we're having a phone call, literally hadn't reviewed the property before we got on the phone. That was just a one call. Hey, this is my ballpark. This is where I feel good at. And then I went and dug into it a little bit further, check with my partner, and that's where we are.
Right. And I understand that. I don't think we're way off, because honestly.
All right, now they about to start wasting my time, bro. Like,
yeah, I would start pulling off.
Yeah, it's about time.
We just told you, it's a wrap. I'm not necessarily saying we're way off. I'm just saying that from your subtraction, is there some way we can meet in the middle? So maybe we're not at 70, but we're not at 65. That's what I'm saying.
We already came.
You know what I mean? Like,
we already came
up, and then be like, that's what we're sticking to. Well, we kind of dropped in
70.
We already came up.
I said, and then you dropped it.
We started this call at 60. We're up 6K.
I do got to remind him that because he wasn't on.
Right.
We keep our relationship when we start moving forward on the property.
Yeah, I mean, look, John.
You guys are looking for as well.
And remember, me and Chandler were speaking a few minutes before you hopped on. I came back to this conversation feeling like we needed to be at 60. We've actually come up a bit. We tried to budge. We tried to make this make sense. And, that's where we are. We are where we are right now. And, like I said, I'll chop it up with him over the weekend. I'm sure we'll catch up and see if we can do something. But I would like to get an offer over to you so you guys can check it out, see the terms. Maybe our terms are a lot more favorable than the other offer that, you've been talking with the realtor about. And maybe that moves the needle. So I think that's a good, plan of action. I can get something over to you guys, mull it over, and let's see, if we can put something together after the holiday weekend.
Okay. You got my email?
Actually, let me go in and grab that. I don't know if I have the one that you guys want me to send this to. Go ahead. Okay. Well, look, I appreciate it, man. And I know we've been able to kind of have a longer conversation about this, and I definitely appreciate you guys' enthusiasm for doing deals. Would love to do a lot of deals with you guys. I definitely, see that there could be something here. We can put a few of them together. We just got to get through this first one.
Sure. That'll work.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, look.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, y'all have a great holiday weekend. All right, be safe. All right. All right, for sure.
We'll definitely take a look at it and look forward to our next talk.
Okay. Good deal. Appreciate it. All right, peace.
They about to talk about it right now.
Oh yeah, they stayed on that phone.
They about to talk about it right now. I mean, hey man, listen, phenomenal call, dog.
I appreciate it, man.
I gotta say, man, phenomenal call. Really went all the way toe to toe. You're good at that. We done been toe to toe. You're good at that. That's a skill you got, man. That's a skill you got. It was on full display. Chat, did y'all not see with this call just now? That Brandon, I'll be honest with you. That's the coldest call you've done on closing conversation.
Okay, say that then.
And it's not even about the contract. It's just about the fully working through the call.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this conversation on coaching calls before. A lot of people don't have a willingness when there's an opportunity to close the gap. Like it'd be one thing, right? If they didn't seem flexible, if they didn't seem reasonable, if they clearly weren't motivated, whatever. But those things were obviously clear, right? We got them back on the phone, and you fully worked the call through. All right, and there was opportunities there to abandon the call, but you really worked it all the way through. And these dudes was, they won't light with it. They definitely know sales, definitely know negotiations. I think this could be a good deal for us, though. I really do. Maybe we come up on the 66, but it's just really a 50-50 ball, man. It's a full gut job in New Orleans. Can we get a single family buyer who does that level of flip? You know this, you got a lot of experience. There's only so many people per market that even do that type of deal.
Exactly.
And that's the worst deal to be doing in July of 2025.
Exactly.
So that pool, most of that pool's having problems right now, probably like these guys. And there's only a small segment of guys right now, usually the guy who's a contractor himself, is still really pushing these kind of projects. So while I think we could sell it to somebody like that, how many of them are actually in the market buying is a whole different conversation.
Yeah. And look, I'm seeing it with, some of my deals, some of my buyers that are telling me like, yo, I gotta be super conservative right now. Like, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Yeah.
And that's going around the market nationwide for real. So, we got to be smart with it. And I'll probably make some calls. I'll probably make a few more calls, send some texts out to see if I can get a better gauge for that specific market, get some feedback on it. And maybe we can put that one to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. If you feel you have to renegotiate, this is a good question. If you feel like you would have to renegotiate, what would make you come up? I mean, just what I was just saying, right? Like, I don't know if you got a thought you want to jump in first, Brandon.
Go ahead.
But to me, it's just the only buyer at that number where it's going to really make reasonable. Because here's the thing you got to understand about this, right? For a landlord buyer, it's too much work to put in for too little return. So if I'm a landlord buyer, I'm going to buy it for 70. And I got to put another, probably what, Brandon? Probably 100 in it at least. Right. So now
maybe for the landlord buyer, they can do a little bit less, but you're still talking 80, an easy 80.
Talking about a big renovation.
Yeah.
It's worth around 300 in the current market, probably up the upper end of 200. So, not a lot of landlord guys are going to take that on in this market, in this economy. They're going to be looking for the cosmetic opportunities because they could buy them for similar prices, but not have to deal with the work. They can start getting a return faster. So your buyer is just going to be one of these fix and flipper folks that are going to do a big renovation. And that's just only so many of those people per market, So not that I don't think we could sell it, but that's what makes it a 50-50. You don't know that you'll have to renegotiate this until you get a buyer or somebody interested. That's why Brandon's saying, hey, I'm going to text around a little bit, see what kind of the streets are saying on price on this that would be reasonable. Because, you could throw it out there and then somebody's like, no, 55.
Yeah.
And now you're like, okay, well, shit. Now I got to try to, call him, have that combo.
And to that question, like I'm typically going in less than, my maximum allowable offer. So I know, if I have some wiggle room, I'm trying to go in at least, $10K a pop or something like that. And so I will squeeze my margin and come up, if I have to, and just take a single play, right? We hit singles and doubles, smaller deals, leading up to the Grand Slam, right? But the other way I wouldn't renegotiate is just like you said, hollering at some buyers, kind of reverse wholesaling, getting a feel for the market, seeing that I have that room, and then be willing to negotiate, So other than that, you got to hold firm. And they were just really pushing it and really about it to try to get this thing sold before the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, great call. Have I negotiated up before? Yeah. I mean, there's going to be scenarios where, unfortunately it happens where you got something under contract. All of a sudden the buyer or seller starts ghosting you. Can't get them on the phone. Then you finally get back in contact with them because you call them from the burner.
Mhm.
You call them from the Google Voice.
Right.
And now they're like, oh no, well, and they've sold it to somebody else, or they're saying they're going to, and now you're in this situation where the only way to get the deal done is to come up, if there's room to, or file a memo and try to play that game.
Yeah, we had that a deal like that in Fairburn, Georgia, a few months ago, where a seller thought that she was walking from the closing table with like 10K. Found out after taxes, fees, mortgage, she was walking away with 5 or 6. I was like, I'm not closing unless I get my 10. And I think she settled at like 8.5 or 9. But we had to, squeeze our margin to make it work. So yeah, we do that, when we have to. But it costs money to stay in the game. It costs money for marketing. So you got to have a certain amount that you're targeting per deal to keep being able to do deals. Right. So,
yeah. And that's important, I think, to say, right? Like, you have to have like and I was talking to Shannon about this the other day, right? Like, you have to have a profit pocket you're trying to hit.
Mhm.
And I think where a lot of people in this game make a mistake is they're often trying to shoot for the wide profit. Shannon made this mistake the other day, as a matter of fact. Shout out to Shannon.
Call him out. Call him out.
But here, I'm calling him out on it, by the way. I'm calling him out on it because he just recovered it today. He told me, and got the deal under contract. But it just happens, right? Like, there's these deal scenarios where you try to go for a really large profit spread, and you're like, well, this person's really motivated, whatever. So you hit them with 30K. And that's fine if you can play the game of anchoring that low and not running somebody off the line. But at the same time, what Brandon's talking about is when you have a buy pocket or a profit pocket, it's like, hey, I know I'm willing to bid up to X, regardless of whatever, because that's my profit number to make my minimum. And everybody's got their own minimum.
Gotta have that minimum.
Yeah, everybody's got their own minimum profit that you're willing to try to take on a deal, because you got to leave room for BS too. Right. So, when it's a really hot market for me, it's like, all right, I'll roll a 5K deal just to, keep the lights on and keep stuff rolling. But really, I'm trying to hit a 10K on each deal minimum. But I think sometimes, Brandon, a lot of people are out here making calls, talking to sellers without any frame of thinking about what type of profit are you trying to get out of the deal. So definitely got to look at it that way.
Yeah, we teaching today, man. Yeah,
man. Now that's a good call out, because I think it's easy to not think about it like that, because you're trying to climb this hill to just talk to a seller for the first time or make an offer or figure out comps or whatever. You think about how much you want to make the money, but you don't think about it practically, in very, base level. Hey, I need to only offer up to X if I want to try to make money on this deal. So now that was good. That was good. Ken, I see Ken in the chat. Unfortunately, we got an Eagles fan in here. Unfortunately, I can't say but so much.
I had to catch up for a second, but I see it.
I can't say but so much, but just know, Washington, we on the way. All right, just know we on the way. You seen what we did last season. All right, we are on the way. All right,
I know them Eagles looking over their shoulder.
Come on, man. Eagles, they just, I don't know, man. They got the Monstars over there.
For real.
It's just, I'm like, they don't have a salary
cap.
Mahomes
in this place, man. That was wow.
They don't have salary cap. Like, how do they got all these players? But it's all good. We stepping this year.
Yeah,
we're stepping this year. All right, I got one I'm gonna hit up, Brandon.
Yeah, I need to call his agent back real quick.
Lex is telling me to try this seller again. All right, so on this one, seller just wants to hear offers, won't give a price range, won't say if she has tenants. So she seems to be one of these. I don't know. Let's see if she's even really serious about selling.
Please leave your message for Brianna.
All right, she's saying she isn't getting a missed call. Let's try again. Hi, Diana. Hey, this is Chris with Nationwide Fast Offer giving you a call. We have been talking back and forth with you about the. I think you talked to Shannon on our team about the property you got over there on Woodward. Yeah, I was just trying to connect with you. We're we buy properties in the area and fix them up for rental, and fix them up and fix and flip them. And we were looking for a couple more properties in the area currently. And I know that you guys had spoken. I wasn't sure if you were, from kind of his notes on the account. I didn't know if you were really, kind of looking to sell right away or just kind of thinking about it. So I just wanted to touch base and see if there was an opportunity to make something happen or not.
Depends on the offer.
Gotcha. So you just kind of, if the offer makes sense, you would be open to selling it, I guess. Okay. Would you be selling the property vacant, or what's kind of the situation there?
What works for you?
Yeah, my preference would be, anything that I'm looking to buy, generally I'm looking to purchase it vacant. Okay. And so, if we were able to put something together, I'm looking kind of right now to, kind of lock down on a number. I think they said that you didn't necessarily have a price you were looking for, but kind of just open offers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me pull something up real quick, Diane, if you don't mind. Is this the only property you're selling right now, or are you selling any others as well?
Depends on an offer.
Well, I'm just saying, are you looking for just an offer on this property, or are you selling some other property along with it?
Let's stick to this one, and then we can move to another.
All right, fair enough. I think that I think that makes sense. I'd likely be, somewhere in the kind of mid, I don't know. It looks like I'd probably be around 50 to 60, on it, maybe a little bit more than that. Is that, kind of within the range to talk about with you, or where are you kind of at?
What are you talking to?
Well, give me a second. Let me just look at a couple more things and I can tell you exactly where I'd be. How about that? Okay.
Okay.
All right. 1 second. Yeah, I'd be, probably around 49K is where we'd be at, 30-day close, assuming the property is, got clear and marketable title, we'd be around the 49K mark.
So do you have any properties in the area for 49?
Are we buying any in the area for 49? Is that what you're asking?
No, that you are selling.
Ask me the question again, Diane, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, for that price, if you have any properties in the area, I
Mm-hmm.
would love to buy them too.
I got you. I got you. So I take it. I'm with you. I take it you don't like the number. I got you. I got you. I got you.
I renovated it for another, let's say 80, okay?
Mm-hmm.
At renting and cash flowing. And it was appraised for 250.
250. You're looking to get 250 on this one?
Yeah,
You said yeah?
yeah, because you know what? It's full.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's kind of up and running. If I'll put it on, I mean, it was appraised as 250, but if I'll put it on the market, I think I can get something close.
Have you already done all the repairs and everything to it?
Yeah, everything is done.
I got you. Okay, so I mean, you've done,
Kitchen, your bathroom,
yeah. I mean, so look, I mean, generally, Diana, I'm looking for stuff where there's opportunity for us to come in and do the, work and repairs and kind of add some value to it, so that
I got it, but this is exactly what I'm looking for. So if you have for 50, 60, if you have any properties,
you're looking to buy. I'm with you. Are you buying cash or you doing hard money? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually might have.
money,
What's that?
do you have access to hard money? Are you offering hard money as well?
Well, no, I mean, I could refer you over to somebody for sure, but no, I was asking because we just like to know with buyers that we're sending deals to, if we send them something, is it something they got to get qualified for, and see if they get approved for it, can they act quickly, that kind of thing. But I can definitely put down your information, yeah, and
Are you buying only in Pittsburgh area, or are you buying somewhere else as well?
no, we're in 13 different markets actually. So we do
Awesome.
yeah, we do some stuff in a few different places.
You know what? I am interested in Indianapolis.
Where?
Indianapolis.
You know what? How about I do this, Diana? I think what would be good. I have Joan in my office. She, you know, um, sells a lot of our deals that we have for us as well. And we've got stuff available that we're selling right now that are good deals.
Awesome.
I can have her reach out to you. It might not be until Tuesday because of the holiday, but I can have her reach out to you
That's fine.
and let you know some stuff we got and see if we have anything you might like.
But stuff that you are selling, is it as is or is it renovated?
It just depends. Some of it's renovated, some of it's as is. Sometimes we buy it and we're renovating it ourselves. Sometimes we're buying it and we get a better deal. Somebody wants to buy it from us. It just really depends.
Okay, so I'm interested in Indianapolis and Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
And not touched. I mean, I would do the renovation myself.
What about Birmingham?
I'm scared of it.
Yeah, I mean some areas are good, some areas aren't. I'm with you. I get it. Huntsville's really good though. Are you doing like near the school up there, I think?
Yeah, trying to. But it's very hard to find a good investment agent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard.
Well, why don't we see if we can help each other out?
Awesome, I would love that.
Okay. I'm gonna tell Joan to give you a call after the holiday, and let's see if we can do some business together and get you some deals. Okay.
Super. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, look, it was good talking to you. Yeah, no problem. It was good talking to you. Have a good weekend. Okay.
Yeah, you too. You too. Happy 4th.
You as well. You as well. Happy 4th. Bye. All right, that's a good call, right? A seller who is actually looking to keep buying. Sounds like a pretty serious buyer. So we'll connect it with Dispo and we'll see if we have some stuff that we could, sell her. She's looking for full retail. She said she's already done all the work to the property. There's no real leg room for us in that to really make something shake. So yeah, we'll connect her with Dispo, see if she's buying in multiple states, see if she's interested in anything that we've got, for sale. I don't know how many properties we got for sale right now, but we've got a good chunk. And we'll see if there's any room to, get something done with her. Brandon, I know you were just on the call. Did you have anything shaking to share right there?
Nah, that was post closing drama.
That situation from earlier. You want to talk about that a little bit
on it after the call?
Okay, all right. That's a post call.
That's definitely a post call situation. But we trying to figure it out. We trying to work through it and make it make sense. But
man,
we got our wire. So
you got me.
Lou got his wire.
All right, man. Shout out to Chicago, man. I don't know what the heck's going on in that market. We're doing deals there. Shout out to Lou doing multiple deals there with you. A couple other deals as well. Definitely a good area. But it's a I don't know what's the deal up there with these title companies, these agents, they got all these policies and procedures now,
And I think we talked about it before, but everybody has their own attorney. And to kind of make it less convoluted, it's like, shoot, do we even get our attorney? All right, if we don't, who are we sending earnest money to? The buyer's attorney or the seller's attorney? Either way, it's not safe. So it's like then you involve 3 attorneys, and then can't nobody figure stuff out, when it's time to close. So it's
that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. I think we got all of them, man.
Yeah, there was one more. I think I need to call back. He sent them some photos. Let me see if I can catch Mr. Charles real quick.
That's not who we just talked to. No.
Oh, what? I thought you was talking to a lady.
No. I'm talking about the 2 partners.
Oh no, that was Chandler.
Chandler.
This was in Indianapolis. I think he wanted too much. What was that? Organization must offer the 78 ward. Supposed to send pigs. Yeah, I still did. So this was another one I didn't feel great about how much he wanted, and I was trying to see if we could make it work. The house is in pretty rough shape. 93, 75, 73, 70 would work, but I had people lowball me, waste my time. Let me see if I can get him.
All right.
But see, not that Zillow matters. Like, it's not gospel. When you jump into a lead and it says like 53,000 and Buddy's saying, hey, you want 70.
Yeah,
70,
you're like,
it's usually gonna be a rough
one. You feel like you're at least generally walking into a big price drop.
Yeah, exactly. Let me call him up. No, calling from my cell phone. Okay. It's not even going from my iPhone
to the seller.
Mm-mm. He might have one of those filters on. If they don't know the number, it don't go through.
Let it go through. Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like we spoke before, so I don't know. Maybe you got it turned off or it died. Let's see if we can pull one more. Okay. We'll text him. Hey there. Was there anything else on the board?
No, nothing I can see. Let me just double check. Yeah, I got. Nah, never mind. I already tried him the other day.
It's one of them.
Yeah, on the other account. No, that's it. So no, I think we knocked out what we had. So I really think we're gonna get that one locked up in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what kind of shakes with that. Lou, I see you in the chat. I have no idea about the Chicago stuff. Brandon, you could probably answer that better, but on that New Orleans one, definitely an opportunity there. I think they're going to come down and kind of be, where we need them to be, but I think you got to catch them, after the holiday, or let them kind of sit on it. Alexa is saying that we got, one more. Let me look at this last one. And
Yeah, buddy's texting me back too. But yeah, Lou. So
is this Chandler or somebody else?
No, it's this.
Oh, there you go. All right, I'm gonna try to find this other one and call that real quick.
Yeah, Lou, as far as the agent using an attorney too, usually the agent is either coming with the buyer or the seller, and they're using the same attorney as their client. So it's usually, 3 attorneys, right? And then you got one facilitating the deal, either on the buy side or the sell side, or sometimes both. So, all right, buddy said he'll call, he'll answer. Let me see. Where we at with this? 85, 55, 40, 47. Here's another one. It's somebody else that's gonna be salty about price, and they want the world, but the comps are the comps. And you see in certain areas, you'll find these houses that are really solid, really clean, dang near livable, if not moving ready. And maybe you can push the limit a little bit. And that 50-50 ball might be a little bit more 75-25, whatever. But when it's a wreck, it's like, what are you saying? And saying,
and it's usually those sellers, right? It's usually those sellers that are the ones that are trying to hold this line. And it's just like, come on, man. Like this dude Chandler, it's like, bro, you telling me you ain't seen the house, man?
Right. You're not seeing the same pictures I'm saying, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man.
All right, buddy say he'll pick up. Let me see.
How's your turkey, sir?
Hey, Mr. Charles, how's it going?
We'll see.
Awesome. Look, I appreciate your patience and reaching back out. Appreciate you also sending over some photos. Gave me a good feel for the area, for the property, and how it fits into the area. Definitely still interested. Looking for a few more projects coming up here, finishing up the summer months. Just wanted to see if we can get close to a price that works for you and me.
I want you come up with a price. You do your due diligence, or whatever you want to call it, and come up with one price, and then we'll see if it's worth me messing with my time. I've dealt with you guys quite a bit here. Well, one wasn't a dead end, but maybe he's dead. The guy that was working on it. Of course, I thought maybe you were. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I think that was somebody else.
So, very, very confusing. But
and I remember now.
Don't follow instructions. That's what happens.
Yeah, I remember now, Mr. Charles. I think you wanted us to see it first, lay eyes on it, kind of do all our due diligence up front.
I just want you to come up with a price, and you're done. Okay. If you do that with a drone, I don't care. Just don't need any more of my time wasted.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, we'll give you $1 million for this place.
For sure.
And
but
then
the
when
only
it comes down to it, you say, oh, well, wait a minute. I'm only going to, I think we'll just go about $5,000 and that'll be it. You need to know, one, I'm not desperate. I'm motivated because I decided to do it.
Yeah.
And I've emptied it out mostly. I can still got the back to do, the yard to do.
Yeah.
And so
the issue, the thing that I saw
done as well.
for sure, but
So-
the thing I saw is you had multiple offers. You said like 93, 75, 73. You said 70 would work, but I still feel like that's a little high. And I don't think that,
I don't know what you feel because one, you haven't checked it out.
for sure,
And all you're doing is going by
the photos that you sent.
Whatever paper you sent.
No.
Paperwork.
You sent over some photos, and so
I'm sorry, I'll shut my mouth.
look, after reviewing the photos, talking with my team, reaching out to my agent that's local to the area, 70 is just a bit of a stretch for us. I'm seeing a lot closer to 60 on this. Yeah, I'm letting you know now that
you can stop talking and start offering. And I again, just come up with something that you can stand behind and offer it.
got it. So if I'm at 60K, does it even make sense for us to continue to have a conversation?
Well, if when you send the document that Dan will sign, and there is none of this, unless that.
Got it.
And somebody else might come in later and decide that no. And then all these other little disclaimers and stuff like that. Then no, it won't work. But if you don't have any of that garbage going on, it is quite possible for it to work.
Makes sense. Last quick question, and I wanted to confirm.
Right now, it's just bullshit in the wind.
Yeah, look, last thing I wanted to confirm, how many bathrooms is it? Because I'm seeing some different numbers. I saw 1 bath, I saw 2 bath in a few different places. And the pictures weren't clear.
There were 2 bathrooms.
Got it. Okay. All right. Cool. All
And
right.
they were full bathrooms. There are no fixtures there. I'll go over it again.
4 bath. No. Look, I don't.
Ready to get back to the studs.
I don't need you to go. I don't need you to go through it all again. I really appreciate it because I have some really good notes. That was the one thing I was missing, and I just wanted to see. Look, can we stand by our offer? I want to respect your time. Make sure that we know that we're moving forward at that price. So I have what I need. I can get over an offer to you. Tomorrow's a holiday. I know, our some of our team and my assistants out of the office for the evening. But if I can get it to you over the weekend, I'll text you. If not, we can catch up on Monday. And then I'll have that offer over to you by then. Sound good?
As it happens, Dan is working tomorrow, so he would be available tomorrow, but not Monday, not Saturday or Sunday.
Dan?
Dan is the one. It's in his name.
Got it. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Before,
Yeah, I
remember,
remember. I remember. Yep.
When I bought the thing,
Yeah, I remember.
I just bought it and put it in his name and said, "This is for you."
Yep, I remember.
They said, "Why would we want one? We don't care about a yard. I want him to have a yard. We don't care about a yard. We like it downtown in this $400,000 house.
Yeah,
that's going to be theirs." And which is also where I have my office, and
makes sense.
They like it there. So I said, well, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It just seemed like the thing to do at the time, So he just whatever it is, he signed like 3 or 4 of them. He signed whatever you call it, and if this is legit, then I'll say, yeah, this is legit. Go ahead and sign it.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Look, well, I appreciate it. You have a great weekend. Make sure you stay safe out there. I'll be working to get over an offer to you, like I said, by the latest Monday. But I'll check in with you and we'll go from there. Okay.
But
all right.
Just make sure you know that it is in Daniel Allerding's name. That should come right up.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh, it does. Okay. Well, I thought you didn't know that. Okay.
No, I just forgot. I know it was a few days ago that we spoke, but I see it right here. Owner. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Thank
My
you.
wife has beat me 3 or 4 times since then, so my memory is shot in.
Okay. Well, look, have a good one.
She doesn't drink, so I don't think she's going to beat me up tomorrow.
Man, you stay safe. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll just stay out of reach. All right.
Appreciate it. Later.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye. Look, I'm not the only one that remember that last call. Like Pamela just said, she remembered that last call. Bro was he was turned up. He was turned up. I'm sending that to Dispo and seeing what they think they could do with it at 60. Do with this. 60K.
Chat, is it just me? Chat, am I tripping? He was a little turned up. You know, he's a little Shannon. That definitely was Willie. All right, that was like talking to Willie.
Yeah, I think
Shannon
he wasn't on here.
Like that. Shannon and I know a guy like that. I just had lunch with shout out to he's probably watching this.
That's funny.
I just had lunch with him yesterday. Shout out to Willie. You're my guy. All right, but you know, Will, you know, sometimes you be saying stuff, and you know, sometimes, Brian, you know, sometimes they be saying stuff. You like, what the hell? Did he just, you know, and it's always one of them. It's always one of them. It's always
and bro was coming left pocket with the wife and the drinking and
he said the wife was in there clipping him.
Yeah, a whole bunch of extra information that nobody needed or asked.
Had an attitude at the top of the call.
Bro, be on one.
It's always it's the, you know, 60K. If you know a William, chat, if you know a William and they go by Willie, not Will. Again, chat, personal experience. If they go by Willie, not Will, that's what you're gonna get. All right, that's you know. So you're gonna get, chat.
Bro's turn.
That's what you're gonna get.
Did you ever find that last lead?
Yeah, it's let's punt that to the team tomorrow. It's land in Texas. Okay. You need to look into it a little bit and tight up on time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my guy was you know too ready to go.
Yeah,
too ready to go.
Bro, I had to cut him off, man. Let's
once he brought the, you know, once he got the wife in there, oh, he talking, you know, he's wilding out. He is wilding out, man. But look, yo, chat, I think that's all of it tonight. We're gonna be back on Tuesday. All right, we hope you guys enjoy your 4th of July. Be safe. All right, listen, you know, be careful with the fireworks. Hit the grill. If you're not supposed to be on the grill tomorrow, stay off the grill.
Bruh, that part.
Stay away from the grill. Don't walk up telling people what they should be doing, should not be doing. Let the cooks cook. All right, let the cooks cook. Y'all be safe out here, man. Enjoy your holiday. Drink responsibly. All right, so y'all talking about Bud Lights in the chat. All right, y'all please be safe out here for the holiday. Brandon, you want to let them know where to tap in with you and get connected, man?
Yeah, look, right here on all social media, I am B Barnes. Appreciate y'all showing up as always. Shout out to the U. Man, it was a good day. I think that we had some good conversations and then talked about a lot, learned about a lot, went through a lot of situations, even with just a few sellers. Can't wait to be back here again Tuesday. You know, till next time, make sure y'all send them offers, do more deals.
Much love, y'all. Everybody be good. Y'all be safe. We'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.